The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. urges religious group leader Apollo Kibuloy to use the congressional hearings to answer the accusations being leveled against him. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. speaks on the presence of Chinese warships and a helicopter in West Philippine Sea. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, and the Metro Manila Council seek to impose penalties versus e-trike or e-bike traversing national roads by April. And we will discover details on Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to discuss plans to end its war with Russia. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, February 28, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Arnie Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. on Wednesday urged Kingdom of Jesus Christ leader Apollo Kibuloy to use the congressional hearings to answer the accusations being leveled against him and his religious group. Nelma Ribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Wednesday, February 28, urged controversial leader of Kingdom of Jesus Christ Apollo Kibuloy to address the various allegations against him in Congress and Senate. Interviewed by reporters before departing for Canberra, Australia for a visit, President Marcos advised Kibuloy to say your side of this story.
Well, I would just advise him that just kung meron naman siyang sasabihin, if he has an opportunity in the hearings both in the House and in the Senate to say his side of the story. Ngayon, kung sinasabi niya hindi totoo lahat yan, hindi totoo, walang nangyaring ganyan, di sabihin niya. Pagka ganito, anong mangyayari dyan? Hindi siya sisipot. Pag hindi siya sumip, mapapakontempt siya. O, tapos tuloy-tuloy, ay nako, mas malaki yung gulo.
PBBM denied outright his involvement in the alleged assassination plot against Kibuloy.
Walang may gusto mag-assassinate sa kanya. Bakit siya assassinate? Wala namang ano yun. Ha? What, I mean, you know, why will anyone want to do that?
Kibuloy recently accused the President Marcos and First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos of colluding with authorities from the United States, where he is wanted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation or FBI for charges of human trafficking, sexual assault, among other violations. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A lawmaker has agreed with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s advice to Kingdom of Jesus Christ leader Apollo Kibuloy to attend the investigations of both houses of Congress. Senate Deputy Minority Leader Remulla believes Kibuloy should give weight on the statements of the President and heed the call to appear before the Senate and the House's inquiries. The opposition lawmaker has once again urged the religious leader to show up or face arrest. She also assures Kibuloy that he will be afforded due process.
Sang-ayon po ako kay Presidente. Dapat humarap talaga si Apollo Kibuloy sa pagdinig pati dito sa Senado. Well, sa kabila nung pagbanat ni Kibuloy pati kay Presidente, siguro naman ang pananalita ng occupant ng pinakamataas na opisina sa ating gobyerno at bansa, siguro naman may kahit konting bigat yon. Dapat lamang may bigat po sa kanila iyon.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said that the reported presence of Chinese warships and helicopter near Bajo de Masinloc is worrisome, as he reiterated that the Philippines will continue to fight for its sovereignty. In a chance interview, PBBM said that the government will continue doing its job to help the fisherfolk. President Marcos also said the situation in the disputed waters has changed because of the presence of China's navy and fishing boats aside from its Coast Guard.
It's worrisome because there are two there are two elements to that. One is that it's the dati Coast Guard lang ng China ang gumagalaw dun sa area natin. Ngayon, may Navy na, sumama pa mga fishing boat. So, nagbabago ang sitwasyon. But, well, maliwanag naman para sa atin. We just watch, of course, what everybody is doing. But really, for us, patuloy pa rin natin. We just defend our maritime territory.
House Deputy Majority Leader and Mandaluyong Lone District Representative Neptali Gonzalez II asserts that the joint conduct of plebiscite for economic charter change and the 2025 elections is practical and economical. Meanwhile, the risks of lifting economic restrictions was discussed on the third day of economic chacha deliberations in the House Committee of the Whole. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
For House Deputy Majority Leader and Mandaluyong Lone District Representative Neptali Gonzalez II, it is practical to conduct plebiscite for economic charter change jointly with the 2025 elections. This is his reaction when asked about President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s statement regarding the issue. The President considers the possibility of conducting a plebiscite on proposed changes to the 1987 Constitution alongside the 2025 elections to save on government spending.
There's no problem with that. In fact, that's very practical and very economical, considering that isasabay mo lang sa election next year, at considering that if we will go by the yung PCOS machine, whatever, lalagay ka lang naman doon ng portion na yes or no. So, talaga yun. Wala talaga additional cost that you can say.
Despite the recent statement of PBBM on economic chacha, the House of Representatives maintained its target to pass the resolution of both houses number 7 before the congressional break on March 23. Meanwhile, the proposal to lift economic restrictions on public utilities was discussed on the third day of the deliberations of the House Committee of the Whole on the resolution. The risk of lifting these restrictions were discussed, including the risk to national security.
Napaka-importanteng industriya po ito sa isang bansa. Tubig, kuryente, transportasyon, komunikasyon na dapat hawak nga po yan sana ng gobyerno. Hindi yan pwede sa pribado. Kasi the moment it's privatized, of course service is just an afterthought and profit is the main motivation. Ang problema dito, pribado na, dayuhan pa. So public service to the Filipino people becomes service to foreign stockholders.
The presence of foreign ship owners and or operators in the country may mean that our safety and security will also be at risk. The risks in terms of national security through violence, hijacking, piracy, terrorism, and other dangerous acts may also be a considerable threat to the country's maritime industry.
Several agencies regulating public utilities have expressed their support for the measure, emphasizing the need to ensure safeguards.
Mr. Chair, if there is a question of the effect of liberalizing an industry, especially a utility, to foreign investments, then the renewable energy industry is a proof of concept. If you open it, they will come.
PNR also believes in ensuring that safeguard provisions are incorporated in laws that will be passed and subsequently implemented involving public utilities, while acknowledging the advantages that foreign investors will bring and contribute to railway transportation in the Philippines.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, is eyeing to send National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, team to Timor-Leste to arrest expelled Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnie Teves. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice, or DOJ, Secretary Crispin Remulla revealed on Wednesday, February 28, that Interpol has already issued a red notice against former Congressman Arnulfo Arnie Teves Jr. Remulla explained this is equivalent to an international arrest warrant.
aktibo nang hanapin, tsaka pag nag-cross ng mga borders, pumunta na-accost, on notice na talaga lahat na itong taong to ay hinahanap ng batas at dapat panagutin.
In the red notice, it stated that Teves Jr. is wanted for murder charges and has been designated as terrorist in the Philippines. Hence, the DOJ chief added they have to form a team from the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI. They will be tasked to arrest the expelled lawmaker in Timor-Leste.
Depende yan kung gusto nilang sila humuli o tayo humuli, pwede nilang hulihin talaga. Kaya lang, baka mamaya mas gusto nila na magpadala tayo ng team doon para babackup lang sila.
The DOJ believes Arnie Teves would not succeed in seeking an asylum in Timor-Leste.
Ang naramdaman ko nung kausap ko sila, nung panahon na yon, ay hindi sila magbibigay ng asylum. Sapagkat nung pinaliwanag ko yung nangyari, ay yung opisyal na kausap ko, ay parang ganun nga ang naging inclination na wag magbibigay ng political asylum.
Meanwhile, Governor Roel Digamo's wife, Mayor Janice Digamo, hopes that Teves Jr. being fugitive will now put to an end.
We are hoping Interpol will really do its job to bring back Congressman Teves so he can face the charges against him.
Teves' lawyer, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, believes otherwise.
Ang red notice naman po ay hindi mandatory. Ito ay pakiusap lamang sa mga members ng Interpol, ng International Police na kung makikita niyo itong tao ito ay may warrant sa aming jurisdiction, baka pwede paki-aresto.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held talks with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to discuss plans to end its war against Russia. Joselito Liquido details why live. Yes, Joselito?
Good evening, Elsie. As Ukrainian forces slowly lose ground in eastern Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made a visit to Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to discuss potential plans to end its war with Russia. The Crown Prince requested to be a potential mediator between the two countries despite being closely aligned with Russia through the OPEC Plus agreements. In the meeting, Zelensky proposed a 10-point peace formula aiming to drive out Russian forces in Ukraine and hold them accountable for their war crimes. In addition, he proposed a potential exchange of prisoners of war and deportees. Saudi state media said that Salman and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is willing to support all international efforts in resolving the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. The Ukrainian forces announced on Tuesday, February 27, that it has withdrawn its forces from two villages in eastern region due to Russia's advantage in troop numbers and weaponry. Furthermore, members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, announced that there are no plans on sending more troops to Ukraine. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, reporting live from Malaysia. The United Nations has warned that a widespread famine in Gaza could almost be inevitable. Mavian Dog will tell us why.
At least 576,000 people in the Gaza Strip are one step away from famine, as the United States and aid groups face overwhelming challenges to deliver the bare minimum of supplies. UN Coordination Director Ramesh Rajasingham has reiterated the call for a ceasefire as they continue to face restrictions due to the conflict, including crossing closures, demanding vetting procedures, damaged roads, and restrictions on movement and communication. Israel's Deputy UN Ambassador Jonathan Miller expressed Israel's commitment to supporting the humanitarian aid being sent to the civilians in Gaza. Meanwhile, his United States counterpart, Robert Wood, stated that Israel must do more to improve the situation. In northern Gaza, 1 of 6 children under the age of 2 suffers from acute malnutrition, and 2.3 million people in the Palestinian region rely on extremely deficient food supplies to survive. Mavian Dog, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Israeli voters have gone to the polls for the first time since the Hamas attacks, which prompted the war in Gaza and made security the national agenda priority. Paul Gatchalian details why.
On Tuesday, February 27, Israelis voted to elect mayors and local council members in 197 towns and cities and 45 regional council representatives. Voting commenced at 7 a.m. local time and officially closed at 10 p.m. with only 3.2 million votes casted out of the 7 million eligible. According to the Interior Ministry's Election Info Center, this represents a turnout of just over 49.5%, which is lower than the 2018 elections, which saw turnout at 56.2%. The decrease in numbers was due to the evacuation of tens of thousands of residents from the ongoing conflict, as well as the postponement of polls twice in 11 municipalities near the borders with Gaza and Lebanon. The votes of soldiers, including reservists, were also not included in the count. Meanwhile, protests against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have recently been gathering strength. A poll conducted in late January by the Israel Democracy Institute revealed that the majority of respondents wanted national elections to be held sooner than the scheduled date in about 3 years. However, Netanyahu opposed the idea of holding national elections during a war. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. A lawmaker believes there is enough time to iron out the details should the plebiscite for the proposed economic charter change coincide with the 2025 midterm elections. Senator Sonny Angara, who chairs the subcommittee tackling the resolution of both houses number 6, says the final ballot for the synchronized voting should be carefully studied. The Commission on Elections will be invited in a hearing for the operationalization of charter change. He adds they plan to tackle the proposed amendments before the State of the Nation address or SONA of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Meanwhile, Angara is in favor of the Bernas formula as the process of amending the Constitution, where the proposed amendments will be processed like an ordinary legislation. However, he admits that this will be questioned before the Supreme Court.
Sigurado kasi first time. At saka dahil nga may ambiguity sa 1987 Constitution, maraming debate talaga anong pwede, anong hindi. Palagay ko, I've said it before na I think it will face a legal challenge at some point.
The Metro Manila Council has taken a decisive step in addressing concerns over e-trike and e-bike riders traversing national roads. In a resolution approved by the council, penalties will be imposed on those who choose to navigate these vehicles on such routes. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA and the Metro Manila Council considers issues concerning traffic violations of e-trike and e-bike riders a serious matter.
Pinakita po namin yung picture, may nagdi-drive na bata, minor de edad, merong mga nagtatraverse sa major highways, SLEX, nasa gitna, naghihintay ng stoplight. Yung mga ganun pong insidente ang iniiwasan natin dahil hindi lamang po ito nakakakos ng traffic, pwede rin pong magresulta sa aksidente.
In order to address this, the Metro Manila Council approved a resolution which will impose penalty to e-bike and e-trike riders who will traverse national roads. It is intended to be implemented by April this year after publication, public consultation, and information drive.
Kailangang lagyan ng ngipin itong prohibition na ito sa pamamagitan nga nitong MMDA or MMC resolution na nagtatala ng kaukulang penalty dito sa mga sasakyan na ito, e-trikes, e-bikes.
Based on the resolution, those driver who brings licenses will be fined 2,500 pesos, while those who do not bear driver's licenses, their vehicles will be impounded.
Bakit po natin kailangan impound? Kasi kanino po namin i-issue yung violation or yung citation ticket. Wala pong rehistro yung e-bike or e-trike. At ganun din po kung walang lisensya, kanino po namin ipapangalan yung penalty?
According to MMDA, national roads where e-bikes and e-trikes will be prohibited include C1 to C6 roads, radial roads, and other major roads in Metro Manila. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In a bid to address the ongoing forest fires plaguing certain towns in Benguet Province, the Philippine Air Force is set to launch a cloud seeding operation this week. This strategic move aims to aid in extinguishing the relentless flames that have engulfed vast swaths of land in the region. The spokesperson for the Philippine Air Force has stated that their conventional method of drawing water with helicopter buckets may not suffice for this operation. Consequently, they are exploring alternative techniques to ensure the effectiveness of their intervention. The situation in the Cordillera Administrative Region remains dire, with more than 1,000 hectares of land already succumbing to the ferocity of the forest fire.
Hopefully, yung cloud seeding would be able to help us address yung ating mga nangyayaring fire sa Benguet. So it's part of our efforts to suppress fire na kumakalat. Ibang approach naman kasi through heli bucket we can only deliver 800 liters of water and then usually we conduct around 15 sorties per day.
The Public Employment Service Office, or PESO, in Pasig City has shared that employers prefer candidates with soft skills apart from the educational background and work qualifications. Gladys Tuabi will tell us why.
Around 6,000 job vacancies were offered during the Mega Job Fair and One-Stop Shop held in Pasig City today, February 28. These includes jobs from the business process outsourcing or BPO industry, health and wellness, retail and wholesale, manufacturing and medical related jobs, local and overseas agencies. Julen Sison Lopez, the Assistant Department Head 2 of the Public Employment Service Office or PESO in the city, says they conduct such activity quarterly to make job hunting easier for job seekers and those who want career change.
Para to sa mga halos lahat yung mga unemployed, saka yung mga employed pero gusto nila lumipat. At syempre, hindi mawala dyan yung mga naghahanap ng trabaho, yung mga unemployed, underemployed sa atin. Sabi ko nga kanina during the employment coaching, ang Mega Job Fair kasi hindi mo kailangan ibenta sarili mo because the employers will be the one to sell themselves. Sila mismo yung maghahanap at magkukumahog, lapitan yung mga aplikante.
PESO says more than the qualifications and educational background, employers also prefer candidates with good soft skills, such as good communication, problem solving, and work ethics. PESO advises applicants to assess yourself first and come prepared when scheduled for an interview.
Assess yourselves, be confident enough na gusto nyo talaga magkatrabaho, yung determination ninyo, alisin yung low self-esteem. Hindi man ngayon, pwedeng bukas, wag lang mawala ng pag-asa. And of course, kapag in-interview kayo, know how to sell yourself properly.
Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Taxpayer identification numbers or TINs for recently hired employees do not need to be verified in person at Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR offices. According to a memorandum advisory from the BIR, employers can use the BIR chatbot review or the online registration and update system or ORUS at orus.bir.gov.ph/search/TIN verification to confirm an employee's TIN. BIR guaranteed that the verification result shown in BIR chatbot, review, or ORUS is considered sufficient. for verification needed by employers. This is also to avoid long lines in their offices and to avoid receiving invalid or fake tins.
And in other global news, the number of new births in Japan falls for 8th straight year, setting a record low 758,631 newborns in 2023. Data from the Health and Welfare Ministry disclosed a 5.1% decline from the number of babies born in 2022. Ryuji Sasaki will give us the details live. Yes, Ryuji?
Elsie, Japan is facing a critical situation with its birth rate continuing to decline every year in the last 8 years. On Tuesday, February 27, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi voiced out his concern to reporters about the ongoing decline in the country's birth rate being at a critical state. He said that the next 6 years or so could be the last chance for the country to reverse the rapidly deteriorating population with no time to waste. Japan set a record low 758,631 births in 2023, a staggering 5.1% decrease compared to 2022. To mitigate what he calls as the biggest crisis Japan faces, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida put forward a package of measures including more support and subsidies for childbirth, children, and their families. Experts, however, believe measures should be directed to young people who are reluctant to marry or have children rather than those who are already married and planning to conceive. Japan's earlier projections that new births per year would fall below 760,000 in the year 2035 has come several years earlier. Meanwhile, its population was estimated to fall to 87 million by 2070, wherein 4 in 10 people will be age 65 and above. The demographic woes of shrinking and aging population has big economic and national security implications as Japan seeks to fortify its military in response to China's increasingly assertive territorial ambitions. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Ryuji Sasaki, reporting live from Japan. Google was forced to amend its application to establish a data center in Chile after a Chilean environmental court has pulled its permit on Tuesday, February 27. The said court ordered Google to consider its effects on climate change due to the project's requirement of using millions of gallons of water for its cooling systems annually. Back in 2020, Google announced its $200 million Cerrillos data center in Santiago, and for over a decade, Chile has been suffering from a drought, which caused residents and local officials to worry about the possible impact of the project on its environment. The decision states that, if suitable, consideration should be given to potentially altering the cooling system associated with the project's servers. Meanwhile, Google declares that it will continue to collaborate with the local authorities' requirements. In its defense, Google also submitted a change to the original design in February 2022 for a center air-cooled system instead. Russia has initiated a 6-month ban on gasoline exports starting March 1 to stabilize prices amidst rising demand, as confirmed by Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak's spokesperson. Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin approved the ban proposed by Novak in a letter dated February 21, although the official decree is pending. Novak emphasized the necessity to stabilize domestic prices in light of excessive demand for petroleum products, particularly crucial ahead of the upcoming presidential election. This decision comes amid ongoing tensions between Russia and Ukraine, both targeting each other's energy infrastructure, underscoring the critical role of energy exports for Russia's economy and geopolitical influence. Additionally, Russia's collaboration with Saudi Arabia within OPEC Plus reflects efforts to maintain global oil prices. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
Our Kasangbahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 10, it says, I, the Lord, search the heart, I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. And those are the reasons behind the news, February 28, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Arnie Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Well, I would just advise him that just kung meron naman siyang sasabihin, if he has an opportunity in the hearings both in the House and in the Senate to say his side of the story. Ngayon, kung sinasabi niya hindi totoo lahat yan, hindi totoo, walang nangyaring ganyan, di sabihin niya. Pagka ganito, anong mangyayari dyan? Hindi siya sisipot. Pag hindi siya sumip, mapapakontempt siya. O, tapos tuloy-tuloy, ay nako, mas malaki yung gulo. It's worrisome because there are two elements to that. One is that it's the dati Coast Guard lang ng China ang gumagalaw dun sa area natin. Ngayon, may Navy na, sumama pa mga fishing boat. So, nagbabago ang sitwasyon. But, well, maliwanag naman para sa atin. We just watch, of course, what everybody is doing. But really, for us, patuloy pa rin natin. We just defend our maritime territory.
Ako, there's no problem with that. In fact, that's very practical and very economical, considering that isasabay mo lang sa election next year, at considering that if we will go by the yung PICOS machine, whatever, lalagay ka lang naman doon ng portion, yes or no. So, talaga yun. Wala talaga additional cost that you can say.
Ang naramdaman ko nung kausap ko sila, nung panahon na yon, ay hindi sila magbibigay ng asylum. Sapagkat nung pinaliwanag ko yung nangyari, ay yung opisyal na kausap ko, ay parang ganun nga ang naging inclination na wag magbibigay ng political asylum.
Ang red notice naman po ay hindi mandatory. Ito ay pakiusap lamang sa mga members ng Interpol, ng International Police na kung makikita niyo itong tao ito ay may warrant sa aming jurisdiction, baka pwede paki-aresto.
Kailangang lagyan ng ngipin itong prohibition na ito sa pamamagitan nga nitong MMDA or MMC resolution na nagtatala ng kaukulang penalty dito sa mga sasakyan na ito, e-trikes, e-bikes. Bakit po natin kailangan impound? Kasi kanino po namin i-issue yung violation or yung citation ticket? Wala pong rehistro yung e-bike or e-trike, at ganun din po kung walang lisensya, kanino po namin ipapangalan yung penalty?